Back, everybody, to Serpent Ascension League. It's Cinnilyn and Rai Testai in the sky. It's Warriors of Albion versus Baba's Kitchen. Solar Finals, game number 2. Baba's Kitchen won in the first game. Bolt bands below us. Rai, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I was doing prod for the last match, and I really had a good time watching that. That was such an interesting game.
Yeah, as mentioned in my very long ramble, fault bands below us. If you are unaware of what fault bands are, it is the idea that whenever a pick is picked in a game, it is banned for the rest of the set. So the 10 gods below, me and my lovely co-caster Rai, not allowed. Can't be played again. Can't pick a Bastet, can't pick an Achilles, none of it. Although more gods that you can't pick in this specific game, even farther below us, Aladdin, Kali, and Discordia.
Yeah, some very, standard bans into this new patch. Spear of Desolation, Soul Gem, all of the int items, they're so good. They're so good, and you ban all of the good int characters, maybe throwing in a hunter or two or a jungler that you really don't like. But, with Bastet and Achilles gone, those are the two main ones, and a Horus, obviously. Those are the two main ones that I usually see in those third and fifth and sixth slot. So, gonna be interesting. We got the Daji ban and the Horus as well.
Where's Albion? Now, has the first pick, and it is going to be the Hecate for Bong Water. Something that he does amazingly on, but also something that eats at Madame Herda's pool. Baba's Kitchen has 2 picks to respond. Where would you like to see them go, Rat?
I need to see some counters to this Hecate. I want to see somebody who can really lock down, get some nice CC. I'm looking maybe for a jungler, maybe for like Thanatos Ultimate or Ratatasker. I've seen some very strong Ratataskers go from the solo lane and get a nice early rotation onto mid, and it's just absolutely diabolical. But somebody who has some pretty good lockdown in their own right, they're hovering Gilgamesh.
Finally,
Gilgamesh and Cerberus. One, the hero of Shamash being locked in, and the second is going to be the 3-headed dog, the guardian of hell, Cerberus, locked in. This top dude from the Baba's Kitchen seems dangerous. What makes it so good?
I mean, CC, and a lot more CC. That Cerb ultimate is just so good. Stygian Torment, one of the best team-wide ultimates in the game. You've got, Ares ultimate, you got Cerb ult, you've got a few others, even Hecate ult. But Stygian Torment, such an amazing ability, and you pick up multiple people. You pick up the Hecate before she gets into her ult portal, she's going to be dead.
So bad. The response, not the traditional response we really have seen into Cerberus, that being Charon or a character who can silence him out relatively easily. The Sobek, though, is pretty interesting. Do you like it with this, especially now with this Izanami? What's your feeling on this duel lane?
I think this is going to be an amazing game. A Sobek Izanami into a Cerberus X-Ball hover? Surely we're going X-Ball. I would love to see this combo. 2 very wave-heavy clear gods. Izanami clearing through the minions, attacking, cleaving through them, and X-Ball having those bolas that just, bounce off and hit the other minions. This is going to be really interesting. It kind of comes down to these, tanks. But no, okay, we are going to hover and block in this Medusa. Going to be still very interesting. Medusa bringing out a lot of pressure as soon as you hit level 2. But, I mean, just very interesting duel lane to say the least.
Now being picked up for the Baba's Kitchen. And that got scares me on this patch. I saw, like yesterday, I was watching Benny Kyo as I do, and I saw him have a 30-second raw cooldown before Desolation, before any of it. Full build, 30-second CD. And that sounds disgusting, first and foremost. This pick, though, it's going to be interesting. What can Warriors of Albion do to counter it, or counter what's been presented by the Baba's Kitchen?
I think that generally their comp is actually really good, well suited for it still, even only 3 picks in. Because on the one hand, that raw ult is going to be doing a lot. That Searing Pain, it hits. I've seen a clip where it literally did 2,000 damage to somebody with some ability procs. But Hecate, pretty good character to match up into it. If you time the, open the gates into that raw ult, you can pull him right after he finishes the ultimate. So, I mean, Sobek also being able to pluck Ra, another fairly immobile god. You have a lot of movement speed, but I mean, I think that their picks are already pretty good. And Izanami a silence plus a slow. I mean, ultimate for ultimate, all in all, I think Warriors of Albion are doing very well as far as the comp is concerned.
I think what's interesting is that both of these hunters do have intelligence scaling. Surprising, but Izanami has intelligence scaling on most of her abilities, and Medusa as well. Would you like to see these hunters go into that intelligence build, or would you rather just see a good old-fashioned strength build?
I'm gonna be so honest. I want something spicy. I want Izanami to go full in, grab that Book of Thoth, grab that Spear of Deso, grab the the Nimble Ring. I mean, it's not good. It's probably not the best build that you can go on Izanami, but I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. I don't care. I don't care how bad it is. I think it's fun, and I think you're gonna be hitting a lot of damage with that one. But Tsukiyomi Guan Yu getting some buffs in this patch, getting some base stat changes. Very nice. I'm glad to see it. I think this comp's shaping out to be really good, and Baba's Kitchen, another very good composition.
Loki rounding it out. But we're going to see how these five gods exist in game number 2 as we're getting ready for it. It's Cinnilyn and Rai. Testai is in the sky, and all eyes are on this soul lane as we see the almost insanely uncommon Guan Yu.
I love Guan Yu solo. I don't think it's the most. You know what? We didn't mention it, but I kind of thought Sobek was going to go into the solo lane. It was going to be Aspect Guan into support, but we do have the Guan Yu into the solo lane with the Bluestone HP starter. I like this. I think that with the new stat changes, it's going to be interesting. Maybe Orion Pax is probably looked through this, gone into practice, done some casual games, and is gonna be like very confident into this pick. But just very, looking across the board here, there isn't very much out of the ordinary here. A lot of variance in the relics here. Basically no two gods have the same relic. We've got Sunder for Shell, we've got Aegis for Beads, Beads for Aegis, and the only relics that are matching are Shell for Shell in the support. But all in all, I like this. It's very standard. These players, very good players. They're gonna play meta. They're gonna do well, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, you don't get to be here without being some of the best players in the division. Solar finals. Interestingly, these mages don't interest me, but this dual lane also piques my interest. No builds for us today, unfortunately. I'm a very big enjoyer of Izanami. Intelligence Izanami. One of the most fun things on earth, but I do echo it's not very good. This dual lane, though, a lot of fight pressure is there for Baba's Kitchen, but wave pressure means level 2 is going to be acquired first. Through the darkness goes Sir Axe, but it's not going to find a kill. Instead, the Shell and Aegis will be forced out from Baba's Kitchen.
Very good start. It just shows how much pressure you're able to get pre-level 2 or maybe level 3. Sir Axe opting to level the dash rather than the 1, which is an interesting choice, but I like it nonetheless. And they're just going to continue with this aggression. They go for the pluck.
Yeah, this found Big O slightly out of position due to it, but he's going to walk back, no issues. These mid laners, or this mid 2v2, splitting these camps in this way. There's the oracles down. Chaos Kuzumbo is looking to invade. On the Tsukiyomi, how did the rest of this early game kind of play out past this invade?
I think you're going to look to see a lot of ganks. Tsukiyomi, very, very pressure-heavy god. You have the stun, you have a slow, and an additional slow. But speaking of ganks, Loki, look at that!
Yeah, Hero's Advance is used, and the dagger stab into the back of Orion Pax. First blood for Pop and Nike.
But look at this aggression. Tsukiyomi sees the Loki in the other lane and says, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and gank into this dual lane. Are we going to be able to see something come from it? He is very close to a ward. They see him on the ward. Is he going to go for it?
So he does get the spit. And the pluck is there, but jump is still around. Sickening Strike. Looking to do something, but Big O making it to the tower, jumps away from the Kasiri Gamma. And that gank, although a good attempt, not going to find any kills.
Ra coming over here, getting that, one out of there. A very important one, going through the wall. But it's going to be nothing but aggression here. Low-key plus Tsukiyomi. Yeah, we're in for a nice little brawl sesh. But another thing, Gilgamesh into this Guan Yu. Look at that sustain, and look at how much damage you're getting with the penetration. I mean, Guan Yu able to do fairly well into this. I'm a little bit surprised, but I mean, not that surprised considering just how much stats he got in this patch.
Something that before this patch, one of my friends had messaged me stating, I think Guan Yu might be overrated in solo lane. And he was fully aware of how the pick was doing pre these buffs. But now this pick is looking really good, and especially in the hands of Orion Pax, being this is comfort. How do you think this Guan Yu is going to work as we get into this mid to late game?
So we're not going the aspect, right? We're just going to be looking for more of a brawl style build, but look at that pluck.
A good pluck on Sir Axe. Last right does get him away.
Okay, yeah, we get the lacerate. We're able to teleport away, but I think Guan Yu is able to just go for these like engages, get the prot shred, and with maybe grabbing some more defense items. Look at this invade though. Chaos Kuzumbo maybe getting something.
He did vanish. Over the wall is the heal, but through the gates. Not quite. There's the teleport around. And Papa Nike is looking for this, but Piercing Moonlight is used. The Assassinate might be better, but no, Chaos Kuzumbo has to be careful. But on the horse is Orion Pax coming in. Searing Pain, not finding much, but Orion Pax does find the kill. And it seems like Commander Chunky, well, no, Chaos Kuzumbo finds another. That's 2 kills for Warriors of Albion.
Yeah, another really good rotation from these Guan Yu. Using that horsey, getting on the horse, that horse is amazing. Able to just run in and get that free stun. It turns that 2v2 from something pretty dicey into a nice gank, honestly. And that's kind of what you're going to see. You're going to see some good engages. You're going to see the dashes in, get some heal out, get some damage with the prot shred, and then just get out. You know, you have good cooldowns. You're probably going to grab some, you know, more cooldown items in your build. You're just going to abuse this like bluestone kind of playstyle and just say, yeah, I'm going to be engaging and I'm going to be a real big nuisance.
Yeah. Transcendence. Now coming out, Yomi is this hyperscaler. Now level 6, though, and this is a far cry from game number 1, where we saw him down 2 levels for the most of it. Although, Big O has to be careful. The team's looking for more. No lurking in the waters. And the Paralyzing Spit does get him away. Madam Herda is here, though, and Thick Memes has minimal life. But the good Sunbeam, not enough. Sirax just going to back. Back onto the Tsukiyomi, though. Was 2 levels down for most of game number 1. Now on this Tsukiyomi, how do you expect this? How do you expect Chaos Kuzumbo to play differently?
I think Chaos Kuzumbo is less going to be focused on the, you know, wraparound backdoor style gameplay, but instead is going to be playing more with the team. Nice backdrop though.
Yeah, Winds of Samash is being used. Piercing Moonlight is there, and it will come through, but a good shell means that Commander Chunky comfortably getting away, although Charge Prey is used, Sickening Strike, but a dropkick sends Thick Memes into a wall. Orion Pax is around. Nike does find him. And the Guan Yu will simply just provide pressure and walk away as the blue buff gets invaded by Warriors of Albion.
Good team play awareness here. You're able to, you know, go for these fights and maybe just get something small out of it. You got the blue buff invade, you got the Shamash, the Winds of Shamash, and you're able to kind of just like set the tone for the match. You're saying, I know last game we didn't do spectacularly, but we are very confident in our team and we're very confident in how we're going to do. So we're going to look to play this next game from ahead and we're going to see what you're going to do about it and moving on into the set.
So far, Warriors of Albion, or well, Baba's Kitchen has had a hard time for it, but we're 2-1, 7 minutes in, and a little under 1,000 gold separate these two teams. Number 1 was similar to this, but could Assassinate is able to get Papa Nike away. Commander Chunky now looking to peel. Chaos Kuzumbo is around. Kasiri Gama finding the stun and half healthing Chunky, but not much else is found. We saw game number 1, right, kind of be this similar story of Warriors of Albion has an early lead. And they're looking to establish that even more so through the gates. But Madam Herda is able to dodge it. Stygian Torment comes through. Chaos Kuzumbo is able to find the kill. Power shot's not there yet. Thick Memes is low, but the paralyzing spit finds him, and the petrifying gaze comes out. Chaos Kuzumba has to be careful, but a good amount of damage. Kasiri Gama, the stun, dark portal off the mark, but the sickles rip through the Gorgon. Nike now looking for the kill, but not able to find it. A killing spree for Chaos Kuzumba.
Very, very nice ultimate combinations there. You use your piercing moonlight to immune the Cerberus Stygian Torment, and you go in on the backline. You get the kill onto the mid laner, and just all in all, really good job from Tsukiyomi here. But as you were asking me earlier, how is the Tsukiyomi going to play in this? I think they're going to do exactly what we just saw. Play as a team. Play together. Don't go for these, wraparounds. Don't go for the flanks. Don't do anything fancy or anything like that. Take it back to the basics. You're going to look for the one shot, and you're going to click ult, and it is going to probably one shot somebody. And that is what you're going to play around. You have a good stun when you do land on top of them. If they're not dead, then, they're probably going to be pretty weak. So that's how I imagine that we're going to be playing into the future.
Team's looking for the invade, but instead the rest of Baba's Kitchen will come around. The team's looking to go into the safety, the respite that his ADC provides. This fight's looking a little bit more equal. Jokester Ryan is around. The ghastly projection off the mark. Diggo's going forward. For this Baba's Kitchen duo lane, these two duo lanes, a fight before meant that, it was a kill and Surax got off to a hot start. Now he's 2 levels up on Jokester Ryan and a good bit of gold, over 100 gold per minute above his lane opponent. What can Baba's Kitchen do to get Ryan back into this game?
They need to probably just look for less of a dual lane approach, but look at Tsukiyomi in dual lane himself, maybe causing some trouble.
Jokester Ryan Petrifying Gaze does come through, but Piercing Moonlight is good. Lurking in the waters is Thick Memes, Big O's Falls, as well as Chaos Kuzumbo. Orion Pack solos out Commander Chunky, but Papa Nike gets a revenge kill in it all.
Very, very nice team play there. You know that you're getting ganked in left lane, so Loki just goes over to the solo lane and you get the trade. You have Ra over here looking for potentially a steal.
Forward String Pain is available, but it's not going to be able to be used because of Chaos Kuzumbo's zoning. So the 3 is able to come through the blind, but no, the Dark Star Shuriken comes out and pierces Madame Herda.
Just good job from Warriors of Albion here. Baba's Kitchen doing their best and kind of getting a little bit of, response, getting the invade, getting the gank on solo lane, but that's about it. Warriors of Albion playing very well as a team here, and look at the ult. What?
Assassinate is there. The Caltrops spell the end of this fight for Chaos Kuzumbo. Piercing Moonlight is used. Only one shot is found. Papa Nike has to be careful. But the amount of damage that is provided, here comes Sir Axe, but Bongwada finds the kill. You were too deep, Nike.
Wow. That was a little bit risky. I did notice that ultimate was over the wall onto the yellow buff, but Chaos Kuzumbo's at full HP. You can't really do that when you're not at full HP. So very interesting, very unfortunate, play there from Papa Nike, but a good rotation from Sirax and from Bongwater, able to, walk back over to this fight. But again, Warriors of Albion playing very well as a team here and just showing they know each other very well and they know just how to play.
On the horse goes Pack, slicing at Chunky. The Sundering Arc is used, and the winds will only come down. Pax with another solo kill.
And look at that ultimate. We're getting in. We jump over the ult, though. Good stuff. Maybe we're going to get out of here?
Pax is around. Big O has to be careful. He's falling lower and lower. Stygian Torment does come through, but a good Searing Pain will provide a good bit of damage. Damage will all provide. Chaos Kuzumbo has to be careful. Caught out is low and will finally be brought down by Ryan. Sir Axe, you're a bit too far, but the jump will get him away, and he's gonna walk out.
When you're ahead, right? Chaos Kuzumbo going for some equally peculiar plays as Papa Nike, but unfortunately not getting the kill. But look at how much damage Orion Pax is able to do with this shield or this this Void Shield and the what the heck?
He's just soloing him on cooldown. Pax gets another. We're 12-3, a 5K gold lead for the Warriors of Albion. How can Baba's Kitchen get back into this game?
I think it's going to be another problem where Orion Pax is just able to run at you. We have the double, even triple physical items or physical defense items coming out. So you're going to need a good magical rotation. You need that Serb, you need that Ra to come over there. So I expect that maybe we're going to see a big rotation onto either lane and just ignore Orion Pax, or we're going to dash in.
Saray, you might be in a bit of a bad position, Ryan. Lurking in the waters comes through a shell. Dark portal comes through. No subexecute. Gonna be found just yet, but the sunbeam gets him out, and he's not gonna be extinguished today.
Amazing peel, amazing stampede from both sides, but unfortunately one of those stampedes is better. And Warriors of Albion, noticing there's a big rotation coming to dual lane, they're gonna go ahead and pick up this Pyromancer.
Pyromancer going the way of the Warriors. A bomb in the pocket of Chaos Kuzumbo. And it's looking good. That gank, I mean, it brought out a lot of resources by the Baba's Kitchen. And we're here. It's nigh 8K for this Warriors of Albion team. A steady lead that hasn't been fumbled all too much. Baba's Kitchen now in a bit of an interesting position themselves. They were able to come back from a deficit last game, but not one as big as this.
Yeah, I mean the deficit is it's mounting. Like we've got, but the only thing that I would like to say is looking across the builds here, right? Tsukiyomi obviously not going this double stacking build. That's been nerfed. But instead opting for this Titan, this kind of like just full physical build, I think that the into the late game, oh, look at this Ra, please.
Herda Searing Pain finds the mark. Herda gets the gold 3 for the Baba's Kitchen.
And on top of that, they have 3 members onto this Queen Naga. It's dropping fast. It's gonna go to the Baba's Kitchen, and Ra is a speedy bird, able to get out of there scot-free.
Herda walks away for their crimes, and what was 7K cut down to just about 5. Baba's Kitchen. All of a sudden, I mean, this is what happened in game number 1, right? A flip switch. They now get 2 objectives, and now the lead starts free falling.
Yeah, I mean, but something that didn't happen is doing 121 damage with Mystical Mail onto your opponent at 15 minutes. Orion Pax absolutely cooking with this build. I love the triple fizz defense items, but I want to see some Baba's Kitchen counterplay. I want to see a good rotation. If you hit a Stygian Torment on this guy, you hit a Searing Pain, Orion Pax is just dead. Just straight up dead. And maybe we're going to see it here, but Orion Pax knows. He's a knower.
He's aware. He does have the ultimate cavalry charge. Able to get him away, but he does want that blue buff. Second guessing it, though, walking away. And Mystical Mail does proc the Fire Giant on him. He's a little bit angry, but that's all is it going to be. Looking back down at this dual lane, I mean, this deficit hasn't really closed. About a full, I mean, in terms of levels, gold it has closed a good bit. Though, I'm unsure of how much Sirax has in his pocket. He'll back pretty soon, but the Winds of Shamash is used. Chunky is in a bit of an odd position. Up, down with the heroes advance. Big O is here, but through the gates used. It is going to claim Chunky as Pax gets the kill. And the ultimate bang. Big O falls, piercing moonlight, not finding much. But the ritual goes the way of the Warriors. Pop and Nike in the jungle. Fire Giant in their sights.
They have 2 down here. They have a Pyromancer bomb. Papa Nike's in some trouble. Are we going to catch up to him? He's invisible?
He's vanished away from sight. But Warriors of Albion following him quite well. Kuzumbo is half, so a turn is around. The damage is good. Vanish, again, just being brought down. But instead, he's going to look to turn on to Chaos Kuzumbo. But a Moonbeam just kills him.
Wow, that is crazy. We get the Pyromancer, but maybe if they hadn't chased so hard, they could have maybe looked for a Fire Giant. But another Pyromancer bomb in your pocket is never a bad trade for your jungler. You have 2,000 true damage on the next Fire Giant pull. That means you're securing that really healthily, especially with a Raw on the enemy team. Looking at these builds, Stampede, Resolute Mantle, I love it. We've got a lot of HP, a lot of Fizz Prots, and the movement speed. You are able to bring your whole team, and you're able to say, I've got Charon passive, I'm able to just run with my team, and we are out of there, or in there even. But on the other side, we've got the similar build. We've got Stampede, the Spirit Robe, and Freya's Tears. Sobek looking to be extremely tanky. 40 physical and magical prots when you're hit by hard CC. Let's count. We've got Assassinate, we've got the Drop Kick, we've got the Stygian Torment, we've got the Paralyzing Spit. I mean, there's a lot. There's like, what, seven stuns on the Baba's Kitchen's side? I mean, that's going to get some serious value here, but I mean, Orion Pax, still with the triple Fizz defense, is not taking a single bit of damage against this wave poke.
He's been known to do the split push kind of wave management style where he stays in lane and he just focuses you and says, I'm not going to look to rotate. And if I am, it's because it's going to be a very good one and I'm not going to take much damage. So on this Guan Yu, he's used to this triple physical build and saying, okay, well, I'm not going to die to my laner and that's what's important. Look at him just invading. This counter jungling coming out from this solo laner looks really good. Although Warriors of Albion, Fire Giants in their sights. Pax looking to zone out. Vitalu Assault, look at him out. Celestial Beam, not enough. Chaos Kuzumbo now going forward. Fire Giants being burnt down below half. But in the backline, Herda is low. Winja Samash is used. Herda looking to get away. Sir Axe kills Commander Chunky. Sir Axe kills Big O. Here's Jokester Ryan. The chicken did leave. Oh no, it's Papa Nike instead. Going forward. Assassinate! No, not good enough. Through the realms. And he's sent down to hell. Poppin' Nike falls. That's Fire Giant on 5 for the Warriors of Albion.
That was so much damage burst from the Hecate Izanami. We've got the Rip Talon. We've got the proc onto the Tearfing. And that Transcendence fully stacked. Titan's Bane online. I am in awe. I mean, you only have the 10 flat, you have the 20 flat pen from the Book of Thoth and the Spear, and you have the 10, or I believe that Worldstone also gives you 10 pen now as well. But Gold Fury is just, it's
no.
Okay, it's secured. Oh my gosh, that got really low.
Herda not able to steal it this time. Maybe for much to the chagrin of Baba's Kitchen. Warriors of Albion, they're happy to do it. Worldstone, though, it's been an item that we've seen so much in these mage builds. Why do you think that is?
I mean, there's like a lot that's really good about this item. You get good stats, 70 intelligence, you get some mana regen, not that that's extremely important. You get the 10 flat pen and 30% cooldown reduction to your ultimate ability. That is separate from your normal cooldown rate. So if you get a build where you have Spear of Deso, maybe Chronos Pendant, you're going to be able to get those ultimates off on, like you said earlier, very short cooldowns.
Yeah, bombing down this left Phoenix. Stygian Torment does come through. Piercing Moonlight in response through the gates. Able to hit Big O. And this fight's not looking too good. Dagger is used. No, it was dropped by Pompa Nike. When just Samash is used, but Sirax able to leave. Commander Chunky looking for a bit. Pax now under fire. Able to dash away. Warriors of Albion now being pushed out. Bongwada falls to Poppin' Nike. Sir Axe now looking to run away. But Orion Pax trying to do the same idea, but there's no cavalry charge for you. And the blinding lights will only blind you for so long. Shut down his Pax. Herda with another kill.
A good 3 for no trade. You lose the Phoenix, but that kind of halts their progress in the, in the right ways. You're able to probably get this Pyromancer. They have no more Pyromancer bombs. And the next Fire Giant that comes up, you're going to have a big advantage because you have Raw Ult plus Pyromancer bombs and you're looking to push this tower. I mean, just amazing stuff from Baba's Kitchen.
Charge Prey onto Ryan. Sir Axe being there means he dies, but Chaos Kuzumbo does die to Papa Nike in turn.
I mean, at this point in the game, it is a toss-up. If you look at whoever you want to and you see them first and you get a good CC, they're probably dead in this meta. But Thick Memes looking for maybe a potential steal here. I don't imagine.
Kitchen Torment is used. Winter's Samash able to get him away. Sir Axe gets the Pyromancer. Commander Chunky sent through the realms and down in the grave. Nike looking for something though in that jungle. Spotted out by Pax and damage on damage. Wind Sprite being taken. Pax not following. Amazing juice. Oh my god.
Papa Nike,
The
maybe
shoes,
the juice are bad.
Yeah, not good enough though. Spotted out. The Warriors will. Looks good. Cavalry Charge is now available. And Bongwada finds the kill.
I mean, I really appreciate the play. I really do. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that I think it's funny, right? And I think you're able to have some fun in this game, right? You're able to one-shot the enemy jungler. Your build's pretty much online. You have the Transcendence, you have the Jotuns and the Barbed Carver and Titan's Bane. So I mean, at the end of the day, have some fun. Go for the invis, go for the weird, wacky play. But on top of everything, the mid builds a little bit varied. We've got the Cosmic Horror and World Stone. We have the World Stone on both, but we have Cosmic Horror on this Ra, opting for more of a Echo build here. You get some serious damage from that. I've played Kronos with this build, and it is a menace. It is an absolute menace.
String Pain off the mark. That'll be a tier 2 for the Warriors of Albion. We're 24 minutes in. It's 24-8. And about a 10k lead separates these two teams. Warriors of Albion are doing really good. Baba's Kitchen in the uh-oh territory. What can they do to escape this? And what does their fights look like if they are able to?
They need to keep playing around the Ra and Loki. The Ra able to get some serious damage out, and Loki going for a sneaky little play here.
Good bit of damage on the Axe, following him through, not being found, Searing Pain off the mark.
And Tsukiyomi is here for the counter engage, but that slow immunity means you are out of there. But I mean, it just comes down to getting some CC onto the enemy backline and getting a Searing Pain, and that means, like, yeah, they're gonna die. You're gonna have to move on from the fight from there, but you're gonna be in a very good position here. We do have a fair amount of stacks here onto the Guan Yu, onto the Guan Yu's prophetic cloak. Physical stacks. We have 14 of them. We have 4 of the magical variety because, as you said, not very much rotating has happened from this Guan Yu. We are still we're at 25 minutes and we're in lane. What's going on here? Why are we? I mean, look at this mid fight. Come over to that.
Yeah, I think I'm able to escape. Stampede was popped, and well, Pax heeds your call. Papa Nike looking to leap Bongwater. Dark Portal seals Papa Nike's fate. In goes Pax. Not looking for some, but Searing Pain. No celestial beams today, but he's low. Shell looking to get him out. Petrifying Gaze. Jokester Ryan looking to get a support out, but not quite. Chaos Kuzumbo finds the kill. Sir Axelot now trying to chase after Commander Chunky, and he's ripping and tearing through him. Sir Axe finds another kill.
That's kind of the green light to go over to this Fire Giant. You have 3 men down, and your ADC is and your support are both healthy enough to clearly take this. I mean, just amazing value from this Sobek. Getting the pluck, getting the knockups, you're just bringing out so much for your team. And by the way, shout out to getting hit by the knockup here for the proc onto the Spirit Robe. But you just got, all you have to worry about is this Ra, and Ra is not close enough.
Definitely not. Good amount of zoning from the Warriors of Albion, making sure that Madame Herda cannot find another steal. It's Fire Giant on 5 for the Warriors of Albion. Now they're looking to put the final nail into this coffin for this game. And how do they do that?
They do a tower sweep, plain and simple. You get one last tower, maybe you grab one Phoenix here, or you just play it safe. Go for the back, go for the Gold Fury. You have pushers. They have to respect those, but we're going to look for a fight here into the lane maybe. Loki is not caught out just yet, but I mean, go for these Phoenix if you want to, but I imagine, yeah, they're going to back up. They're going to go for this Gold Fury instead and move on from there.
Playing safe seems to be the way. A game as commanding as this one, you know, fumbling it and going down 2-0 in a set doesn't sound too good for championship hopes. So they'll retreat back to this Pyromancer and have to imagine Ancient Gold Fury next into their sights. Pack's going over there. The kitchen, though. They're 12K down, and it's 24 to 8, 28 minutes. And these defenses, how do they possibly do it?
You gotta look for the Tsukiyomi and the Izanami at the same time. Izanami's build is pretty much online. We're about to get the crit online. We have the Golden Blade or the Gilded Arrow upgraded. I think it just matter of fact, you have to just choose one, right? They're both very, very problematic characters. Just choose one, go on them, use like maybe two ultimates, the Assassinate and the Searing Pain, and you're gonna pull something. But look at Tsukiyomi getting caught out, maybe.
It's dangerous. Looking to get away. Nike is low. Chaos Kuzumbo instead finds the kill onto Nike. Madam Herda makes Sir Axolot unstoppable. And Chaos Kuzumbo now looking for more. Big O in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to guard his team, but guard no more. Bongwada picks up that kill.
And Commander Chunky, unfortunately, away from this fight. Now they don't even really have to go for this Gold Fury. I imagine that there's a world here where they just get one or two Phoenixes and then they just back off and wait for the next fight. Because as soon as those bases are open, that means that the next Fire Giant is going to be extremely, extremely difficult to deal with.
Phoenix now falling for the Warriors of Albion. They're going forward. They don't want any more Phoenixes. They want this Titan. Winter Samash is used. They believe in their lead, and frankly, I'm believing in it too. Warriors of Albion, they sure up this set. They win game number 2.
Amazing. Honestly, hats off to them. They took the right play there, and I did not. I I can't believe they just got so much damage out there. You know what? I haven't seen a Titan race in a while in this patch, so I imagine that the new pen items have affected it slightly, but amazing, amazing call from them to go for the Titan there and win the game. Just what a good way to finish it off, like a team play for like something like that.
Yeah. Here. I mean, Sirax went insane in that game. 7-0-8 off on this Izanami. My dearly loved pick. I mean, one of my favorite picks in the entire world. But I mean, his team, all of them, Bongwada, Chaos Kuzumbo, Pax, and Thick Memes, they looked like a different beast in game number 2. Bob's Kitchen, they have a lot to topple.
A lot to topple indeed. Maybe they're going to look to the drawing board. Look at these picks and bans. I mean, I think that is inevitably where they went wrong. Orion Pax is very comfortable on this Guan Yu, obviously. Getting out 30,000 mitigated in a under 30-minute game. The only person out mitigating you is your own support. Very nice job. And I just imagine they're going to look for some target bans onto the junglers here rather than going for the mid lanes. But even still, a good game from both teams here.
Yeah, Warriors of Albion, they did pick up game number 2. The set's now tied 1-1. Who's going to take the lead? Is it going to be Baba's Kitchen? Or is it going to be Warriors of Albion? Find that out and more when we come back from this break to get to game number 3. Welcome back, everyone, to the Serpent Ascension League. It's Cinnilyn and Rye. Test eyes in the sky. It's Warriors of Albion versus Baba's Kitchen. It's 1-1. How you doing, Rye?
I'm doing amazing after that last game. What an amazing, what a good set so far.
Certainly, Baba's Kitchen had a very taxing game number one. Around 50 minutes, they did take it down. Warriors of Albion snatched their tempo, though. Sub 30 minutes. They won game number two. And below us are the 20 gods from those games. That's because they're in the vault. Can't be picked again for the remainder of this set.
Yeah, some notable bands here. Tsukiyomi, Bastet, Achilles, Kabrakan. There's so many good picks that have been just locked away for the rest of the set that they're going to be going deep into their god pools here, especially in the mid lane, because mid is definitely the focus of this week's bands, and we're opting for the Aladdin, Horus, Kali, once again, Morgan Le Fay, all standard, all the same as last two times, in fact. I'm very excited to see how Baba's Kitchen drafts here. They're probably going to be looking for another. They're probably going to be looking to try and outdraft their Warriors of Albion counterpart here. Maybe looking for more of a identifiable team composition.
You have to be careful. These last bands, they're going to roll through. I'm wondering if you are going to see some game number one parity. Discordia was normally banned by, if I'm remembering correctly, the Warriors of Albion. So wouldn't be horrible to see that. Although they lay in waiting. These bans, what would you like to see banned by either of these teams?
I just want to see the Discordia band. I mean, just what an amazing. Oh my goodness, Alpwash, my beloved. Unfortunately, my actual beloved is Alpwash Aspect, but that is currently comp banned. So Alpwash getting banned away makes sense, and Discordia getting banned away from Baba's Kitchen. Warriors of Albion looking to make a play here because they left up one ban. They left up one pick, and that is Daji. Daji seeing some bans here. So maybe Warriors of Albion are going to look to pick this up. I'm very excited to see what happens.
You're thinking about it. Not exactly a snap. Maybe they see something different, something like more. That likely is it. I mean, there's quite a few picks still up. I mean, most of the mid lane tab. I've been talking with some people, some of my friends, and in one of their sets, they told me they said, yeah, I mean, we're just not going to ban any mages because they're all equally broken now. So where's Albion? They have an interesting place to go in their first pick. What are some picks you'd like to see them pull out?
Definitely the Daji. Daji has kind of dodged a lot of nerfs recently. I don't know how Daji is still one of the best characters in the game. She's been so broken for so long. I mean, I would love to see it, but instead they're gonna hover and lock in Thanatos, my personal favorite assassin and jungler in the game. I'm very excited to see what this is built. I've been thinking about this Thanatos pick recently. I've been thinking they added Pen to one of his best items in Pendulum Blade. You get the land, you land on them, you click one, you double one, you get a reset, and then you triple one. You get so much damage with Thanatos. I really want to see it with the Jotuns, with the, just a cooldown Pen build. I'm excited to see it. But Odin Yamoja, talk about walls.
Walls aplenty for the Baba's Kitchen. These are two very strong picks. Historically, we saw Commander Chunky piloting this Odin of the Warriors of Albion. You have to respond. Are there any specific picks you want to see them respond with besides this honor?
I would like to see a Ganesh. Ganesh hasn't been picked up here. You get the remove obstacles. Very good pickup into this comp. I mean, able to just get the CC immunity, but another equally good character, Geb, getting that stone shield, able to maybe mitigate a lot of damage for your squishy divers, especially with the Thanatos who's going to be diving in, but Ho Yi being locked in for Baba's Kitchen.
Now, I do have another another pick available for this fourth pick. Daji's still up. Previously went banned the entire set, but Herda locking in this Giannis. A very interesting pick that we haven't seen in quite a while. Why do you think we're seeing it now?
I think it just comes down to the fact that, like you said, mid laners are broken. It doesn't matter if you're playing Giannis. It doesn't matter if you're playing I mean, you could play basically any mid laner in the game right now. You go the normal build, you're going to be one-shotting people, and Giannis is one of those people who has a good ultimate, abusing that World Stone's, build.
Mhm.
And it's just, I mean, it's just so much damage, and you got the good mobility. It's a very good pick. Like, I love the Giannis and Ratatasker Merlin, though. Merlin, one of my favorite gods in this meta. With the Worldstone build, you're gonna be doing way, way too much damage.
This pick's a bit interesting too, because of the Stone Shield giving you CC immunity, it wards off the idea of a dodgy pick. So Baba's Kitchen, now with their last pick, they see the 5 of Warriors of Albion. Any specific picks you'd want to see them go?
I still I still think you want to go a kind of CC heavy god just because you have that Hou Yi, you have the Giannis for the portals, you have good CC all in all. So you're probably going to be able to pull out the Geb shield pretty easily. So maybe grabbing the Daji still isn't bad, but a team wide ultimate once more, Hanbats with that Fear No Evil, a very good pick.
Locked in for the Baba's Kitchen. Looking at these teams of 10 gods, right? What's your opinion on it? How do you feel?
It's a pretty interesting one. You've got the Ratatasker solo, right? Unless secretly Morty is piloting this Geb solo and it's Rat support, but you've got the Ratatasker solo, and you've got Thanatos jungle. Those are two very good ultimates that are going to be really valuable into the mid and late game. But on the other hand, you have Yamoja Odin and Hou Yi. I've seen this 3-person combo before, and it is nasty. The Suns, the River, you get the River's Rebuke, you get the Odin Cage. I mean, just honestly, both teams have a very good comp. Whereas Albion more focused on single target damage and Baba's Kitchen more focused on team wide damage, it's really a toss up.
It's going to be interesting. These two teams, I mean, it looks very, very interesting. We're into game number 3 now, right? So it's 1-1. We're now balanced out. But we are going to be able to go in to game number 3 here and figure out on the Battle of the Gods how it's going to look. It's Cinnilyn and Rai. Test die is the eye in the sky.
Yeah, across the board, very standard stuff. You have the Ratatasker aspect. You're grabbing, you start with that acorn. You get the health component. You have the bluestone, and I mean everything just looks pretty normal. You have the conduit gem onto the Giannis, and the spirit and the Sands of Time onto the Merlin, and I mean shout out Merlin. I love that jump stamp, but I imagine it's gonna be oh my goodness, no way. Are we gonna do this to him in finals?
Brutal. Unstable Vortex is used with Sundering Arc, and Bongwada does die. Madam Herda falling down for first blood. It's just shot straight up.
Yeah, that's an unlucky break. I mean, you never expect it when you're dancing in mid. You're supposed to respect that. What the heck, guys? Come on. But I mean, that's going to be a very good start for this mid laner. You're getting that first blood. You're going to have a very good time, especially when you are pretty much going to out clear this guy for most of the game as soon as you hit level 5 or level 3. But this dueling, Hou Yi, Yamoja, what an aggressive composition. Onher's still able to just out pressure that though.
Bit of damage, and that's really the big thing, right? We're in such a pen heavy meta. It's gonna be interesting, but aspect of the thick bark, right? Picked up by this Ratatosker, not something we saw too much. Received some buffs. What makes it so good right now?
You grab this, Phoenix Shield, you grab some HP items, and you just say, "Yep, I'm on your backline. I'm doing 1,000,000 damage, and I'm just gonna go ahead and full heal whenever you drop off of me." So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna expend a bunch of resources on me, or are you going to, let your backliners die?
The interesting rollout is used, but Portal gets Madam Herda away from any trouble. Good stun on Orion Pax, although he is just gonna walk on out. Chunky, not falling quite yet. In the mid 2v2, once again, trading these neutrals, although Baba's Kitchen isn't going to get the red buff here in duo lane. Where's Albion instead going to pick that up?
And again, Chaos Kusunbo going for this invade. I mean, it works out really well on these 2 picks or 3 picks that we've gone. 3 very aggressive picks, but Orion Pax maybe in some trouble here. The gank's coming through.
Does get stunned bird bombed. He is spotted out. So Pax is going to walk away. No early kill this time.
But maybe an early kill here. Thanatos walking over a ward. Geb rollout?
Knocks him up, and the other knock up. But the moon strike, there's the disperse, but impale, not finding the mark. That means Big O gonna make his big escape.
A nice step back for that impale. I mean, that's so unfortunate. Straxlot narrowly getting off the mark with that impale, dropping the kill, but all in all, very good aggression. When you are up first blood, you are just able to take so many engages, and Orion Pax just diving under the tower. He's not going to be in any trouble. He's got 50 HP. He's got the, the component. He's just going to be, very tanky, and eventually I'm sure he'll upgrade his acorns, but we're holding on to the gold just for now.
Look at the dart. Just imagine Flurry is not going to make its mark. Bird Bomb doesn't find anything, so no solo kill for Chunky out today, but it is going to force Arat out through the space and time is used. But Herta has to be careful. Well, those Nike. Hovering Death is there. And it is used. The stun is found. But the overhead smash gets a great stun. Scythe barely off the mark. Chaos Kuzenbo's now in a bit of trouble. Unstable Vertex. Madam Herta picks up a kill. Here in this duo lane. Pillar is up. Sir Axe looking just for this buff. Looks like we're not going to see a fight in this duo lane.
Yeah, and Baba's Kitchen picking up the rocks and able to just go for this aggression. You have the 3-man rotation. You have your duo lane in a good spot. You're able to just go for whatever you want. And Thanatos, unfortunately, getting another beautiful sidestep from Pop and Nike. That is the second sidestep that has saved your life this game for Baba's Kitchen. I mean, very good dodging. I cannot lie. And we are going to go for this Yogi's necklace onto the Ratatasker item 1. It makes sense, right? You grab the HP, you get the regen. You're just really tanky. Like in the early game, this Odin is unable to go for anything, and he is probably going to be going into this Helm of Radiance item 1.
Although, interestingly enough, that Acorn not upgraded yet. It does provide, right? Acorn now is, you can build 3 of them. Okay, it is upgraded into a tier 2. But you can build 3 of them. So you get all 3 of them, you get all 3 effects. It makes your abilities very, very good. And it gives you a good amount of stats, especially in terms of HP and such. But Sirax has to be careful. Impale used. Buff does go the way of Warriors of Albion. What are the advantages of waiting to build this, these acorns over not? Well, that thought, Unstable Vortex, Niley finding Chaos Kuzenbo, but he's going to be sent through space and time and down into the grave. No portal just yet, but Unstable Vortex once again. Herta is a demon on this Giannis.
I mean, just so much value here. You're able to use the Unstable Vortex and do so much damage, but the beads coming through?
He's coming through another Unstable Vortex. Autos, portal coming down. Killing spree for Herta. River's Rebuke is there. Moonstrike, a bunch of damage. It will collapse. But Thick Memes not dying just yet.
Could have maybe... That's a pretty big survivability here thing for Geb. You don't have an item yet, so that rotation was really dangerous. And Pop and Nike opting to not use 2 ultimates for the kill on the support, saying it's probably not worth it. I'm going to hold on to my Fear No Evil for a little bit of a more important kill. But, I mean, Giannis, you got the Spear of Deso, you've got the damage, you got the Flat Pen. That means you are probably going to be doing the most damage in the lobby at the moment, especially because you have Conduit Gem. You have that Conduit Gem, you're getting the proc damage, you're able to just do basically whatever you want. The mobility on Giannis is ridiculous, more than any other mid laner in the game, in my opinion, especially because you have the resets from the Spear. But look at this rollout!
Rollout coming through, and Ryan holding it just long enough, meaning that he's going to get away and no gank this time.
I love Geb so much. We got the Stampede, we've got the rollout ready. we're gonna be able to make some very, very interesting plays here. And new change, I have to mention, this totem. You get 100 XP and 25 gold depending on how much progression you get onto the totem. And it's got, you know, all active. It still has the old passive, but now it's based off of how much damage you get, how much percentages you're going to be getting towards it. And Orion Pax wants these rocks.
He does. It's going to be a tiny bit traded from by Commander Chunky. Well, the Bongwada is here as well as Kuz. Chunky being chased after, but fear no evil. Desert Fury, overhead smash. Sacred Monkey Toss off the mark. Chunky has to go forward, but a good blink from Chaos Kuzumbo isn't going to find the kill, but the Hovering Death looks to change that instead. He's not going to go under tier 2. Instead, going to land on some minions.
Honestly, I respect that play. You got to be a little bit careful here at Thanatos. That's kind of the big thing here. And Yumosha's going in. Maybe Geb's in trouble.
A good River's Rebuke. The wall's going to change. That Cataclysm makes Commander Chunky fall to the ground. Buried under the rocks. Dragon's Fire. No Radiate quite yet. Herda is around, but that looks like it's just going to be one kill for Warriors of Albion.
A good kill. You're trading out ultimates here. Look at the Ricochet. No, I respect the play, Jokester Ryan. I respect it very, very much. But I mean, all in all, trading out ultimates is honestly, in my opinion, it's going to favor out Warriors of Albion here. You have a bit of a longer cooldown on the Umoja ult than, you know, the Geb ultimate. And I just really I think Umoja ult is just better than Geb's in my opinion. I mean, shocker, you have a big wall, you have somebody who can just stop the movement of somebody and literally force a shell in most situations. I mean, just such a good ultimate. So trading that out, good for Warriors of Albion, and they get the kill. I mean, very nice job here. They're showing off a very nice mastery over the team play style of this game, and it's honestly very impressive to see.
Swung Acorn for Pax. Oracles did go the way of Warriors of Albion. Sirax has to be careful, but this solo lane is looking good. Yellow buff not being picked up, zoned out of it. Both junglers are here. They're waiting in the wings for the other ADC to make a move. And Sir Axe is not going to be making that move first. Hovering Death is used. Desert's Fury. There's the Sunbreaker Hovering Death. The overhead smash silenced out, but it is going to make Chaos Kuzumbo stunned for a tiny bit. Baba's Kitchen, they get Sir Axe. But Herda is looking for a little bit more. A good knockup prevents much more from happening, meaning the Honest is just going to portal away. Instead, no. Tiny bit of poke. You need to be careful, though. Pax is here, and he's going through the cosmos to reach you, but the portal able to get Herda out. The same cannot be said about Big O. River's Rebuke, Stampede, Shell following, darting through the enemies, his Pax. But a good Riptide and a good better stun. Jokester Ryan able to jump away, and despite it all, Warriors of Albion not able to find any kills.
Pop and Nike on the backline just absolutely doing some nice peel through the form of distraction. But Warriors of Albion gonna look for this gold here. They have to be careful. No ultimates on the side of Baba's Kitchen, but look at the steal.
Sacred Monkey Toss, overhead smash, not around. Sir Axe gets the Gold Fury, Hovering Death being used. And it's all but finalized for Nike. He is added to the kill total of Bongwater. And that means the Warriors of Albion is going to claim one in a Gold Fury, but instead Chunky goes in. You have to be careful. Jumping out. Cataclysm is there, but Thick Memes is low. Going in does Orion Pax. Chunky is slayed. There's the Ice Storm. That makes it 2 for Warriors of Albion.
A nice fight there. Flurry has 2 charges, heals, and provides protection. Ash Whirl's Acorn, one of the best items in the game, let alone the fact that only one character can buy it. On this character, you're going to grab Shield of the Phoenix. You have 2 casts of your healing ability. Yeah, that's a lot of tankiness. And, I mean, just in this particular meta, HP is probably going to... What the heck?
Jokester Ryan looking up for a solo. Sunbreaker's gonna break the spirit of Sir Axe, sending him to the gray screen.
Amazing solo here, but I mean, so much damage from Ho Yi. Ho Yi going the Lernian bow rather than the Transcendence dagger. So, I mean, just good job from Ho Yi recognizing you have a better 1v1 while that Transcendence is still stacking. And I mean, amazing job. You're able to get the 1v1, you're able to get the solo kill. And it's going to be very important because if you can get your ADC ahead, you're going to be in very good shape for Baba's Kitchen. And they are trying their best to get this ADC ahead.
Yeah. Although we are 4 to 5, 12 minutes in, just under 2,000 gold is what separates these two teams. Warriors of Albion claiming this lead. Baba's Kitchen stumbled game number 2 after winning game number 1. How can they take control of this pivotal game number 3?
Like I said just a little bit ago, they need to play through this duo lane. Ho Yi is such a menace, such an amazing character. You have that safety, you have the ricochet for a good CC, you have a knockup, you have one of the best ADC ultimates in the game. I mean, just play through Ho Yi, play through the fact that Ho Yi is able to play as a team, play for whatever you need. You get the Gold Furies, get some good relic usage from the Ho Yi plus Fear No Evil. So I mean, imagining just the fact that only 2 members have beads on the composition of Warriors of Albion means that Fear No Evil plus Ho Yi combo is going to be super deadly.
So, Chaos Kuzumbo looking for a bit, not finding much. His side lane looking a bit interesting. I think I want to shout out Commander Chunky. This second item looking to be a damage item. Here in this duo lane, though, Jokester Ryan looking to clear this wave with the pillar up. Impale. So it looks like these two ADCs not exactly wanting a fight, but it might have just been all a bait for Madame Herta. There's the portal. The beads being used and dispersed following unstable vortex and the stun. Herta now looking for more, but the slow Big O does fall, but Ryan slays down the lion. Poppin' Nike, he gets feared and stunned by Commander Chunky. Chunky looking to get his jungler out instead of his life. Chunky falls across map 1 for 1.
And amazing rotation. Giannis able to do very, very much for this team. You go for the dual lane gank and you get use the ultimate through this. You use the ultimate to get across the map. And I mean, you don't quite save anyone, but it just shows exactly what you want to do as Giannis. You want to go for these, weird, wacky, rotations and interesting plays. And even in team fights, you're going to see a lot of it. You're going to see Giannis going through the walls, doing whatever, Giannis wants to do, casting those portals, casting those twos, and just basically going to be a huge problem for Warriors of Albion. If they can't get a nice CC onto him, and I'm talking a really nice CC, like long Cataclysm, Impale combo, you're not going to be able to kill him instantly, and that's what I'm really looking to see.
Honestly, Giannis has been amazing so far. A stumble because of a jump party in mid has led to 3 straight kills and getting active on this map. Giannis has always been peculiar with builds, right? He's always had his soul gem, he's always needed the Spear of Deso. What makes this meta so kind to him?
It's just the World Stone and the Flat Pen. Flat Pen has always been good for Giannis, and they're picking up this objective, and Giannis able to go for a steal here, but they drop it. Orion Pax in the backline.
Through space and time was used. 4 started in to the wall. Sunbreaker was used as well as Fear No Evil. Baba's Kitchen takes the Queen Naga, and now they're looking to get out. In the brush goes Pax, but he is in a dangerous spot. River's Rebuke was used. Cataclysm follows, and the monkey is around. No Fear, no evil, but the damage might be all he needs. Radiate burning through him. That's a 1 for 2 for Warriors of Albion.
A nice fight, and Chaos Kuzumbo might be in some trouble here. Jokester Ryan lands on him.
Jumped in. There's minimal ways he can get away. Herta needs to portal through this wall, but she's silenced and falls down. A good bit of damage. The spear hits Kuz, but Bongwada slays Chunky. Make that a 1 for 4, or a 1 for 3.
Amazing job by the Warriors of Albion here. A nice pillar, and I was honestly hoping for the pillar impale there, but just an amazing team fight. You always just go into these fights and you recognize that your positioning is just like the slightest edge over Baba's Kitchen. And so Warriors of Albion just say, yeah, we're gonna take these fights. We take the fight over the objective. We take the fight for, you know, post objective, and we're gonna go for it. I mean, we lost the objective to Baba's Kitchen, but that's not the real issue here. We're getting so many kills and we are just commanding this game. It's a very, very nice thing to see, and Warriors of Albion doing very well into this mid game. I'm excited to see how they turn this into a late game finish.
Oracles. Taken by Baba's Kitchen. It's 10-7 in game number 3, 17 minutes in. 3.5K is the difference between both of these teams. This game's been interesting, right? Not as, you know, shocking and jarring as game number 2. Not as much of a clear lead. Instead, it's been subtle, quiet. Warriors of Albion, they've held this lead for this entire game, but they haven't gotten off to a firm start. How can they make that the case?
They need to go for more objectives. They've gotten a lot of kills here, but they only have the one Gold Fury. It's pretty late in the game. You need to go for more golds here. That's how you get... Oh my goodness, look at that damage!
Sunbreaker walls him off. Sir Axe falls to pop in Nike, but Chaos Kuzumbo's looking for the Hoi Yi. Jokester Ryan falls down through space and time is used, and now the Greek god of death is in the sights of Baba's Kitchen. 3 rotate over. It's not going to be enough. A good stone shield, Sacred Monkey toss off the mark, and that knockup is going to spell the end of this rotation.
Again, really good rotations from both teams here. Thanatos going into the air, able to counter gank here and make it a 1-for-1. And luckily, getting some good peel, and they're being crazy. They're going back in.
Big memes finds the knockup onto Herda. River's Rebuke was used in combination for the Fear No Evil. But oh my lord, Nike gets burned down by Bongwada. And Murda's nowhere to be found. Instead, they're gonna back Big O's low. And the Merlin is going to claim another kill. Hovering Death was used. That means Jokester Ryan is low. And he might just fall soon enough. There's the Scythe beads being forced. And he does. But Unstable Vortex claims thick memes there. And Herda has to be careful. Pillar separates the wall, but no impale means that Herda is going to be able to walk away.
Just so much aggression here from the Warriors of Albion composition. I mean, you have the Thanatos ult, you have such good single target damage in CC, and the only thing that is generally like a large team fight CC is this Geb, and Geb has been doing such a good job of making it get some value. Use the shell, use the Cataclysm, get underneath that Yemoja ult. It doesn't matter that Yemoja ulted, because you have a shell, you have an ult that is just going to be able to trade really well into it. And so now, like I said, get these Gold Furies, get these objectives, and while Orion Pax is just 1v2ing in the right lane, 1v3ing actually, I mean, you just get free objectives.
Yeah, Gold Fury now going the way of Warriors of Albion, and Pax, although was the target of a rotation, able to leave. The portal looks to get Herda out of there. The Warriors going the way of Warriors of Albion. This has been an interesting game. It looked to be Baba's Kitchen for a very short bit, right? I initially was thinking they were, you know, off to a not great start with the first blood, but Herda kept rolling and rolling, and it was looking good. Instead, they stagnated. How can Baba's Kitchen get their engines revving again and getting them ready to go?
I feel like a broken record. It is going to be the mid lane. Mid lane is the best role in the game right now. Look at this. Giannis is online. You've got the 3 items. You got the triple flat pen. I mean, so much damage. You got Spear. You got the Soul Gem. You've got the Cosmic Horror. You've got Echo. And more importantly, you have more Echo than you have cooldown rate. So 20% Echo damage. I mean, so much damage. You hit an ultimate on somebody, it's going to hit them for like 75% of their HP bar. And that's what you need to play through. Look at that damage. Half of Sir Axe is gone just from one Unstable Vortex. I mean, that's exactly what you like to see. And that is exactly what you're going to see into this mid game. Just get one Ricochet, one stun, maybe a blink, Fear No Evil. And then you're going to be good to go. You get that damage out. You get the one shot. You get the team fight, and then you're going to be able to go for an objective. But, you know, we keep on seeing into these fights here. I mean, look at this stunned rat forced to be going into the air here. We're going to be going away here, and now we're going to be ulting out. Thanatos does get a kill into the mid lane, or into the dual lane, and now we're fighting over mid lane. There's 4 in mid, 2 for the Baba's Kitchen. I mean, look at this. A big rotation here, maybe a big team fight. Just so much damage here. We're going for this Pyromancer. Tanking it is Thick Memes, and looking at the zone is this Orion Pax. In the backline though, look at the steal. Bongwada able to secure it for his team, and now maybe there's a fight breaking out. Orion Pax just going into the backline does not matter, does not care. I am absolutely astonished by just how tanky this Ratatasker is. Thanatos going for the backline dive. There's a lot of people at 1 HP. That Thanatos passive is looking real juicy. We're going onto the backliner, but the Scythe is off the mark onto the Yamoja. Look at how much damage the overhead swing, and Orion Pax just taking none. Full HP at this tower, and now the Yamoja ulting through. Shell of Rebuke. Thanatos is in the air. Can we land on somebody? We land onto the Giannis. We're going through, and we are going to be able to just keep on going. Bongwater dying, going to get a kill. And we are just going to continue. I mean, just so much damage here. We don't get the tower, but Duplicate of Binding being purchased from Thick Memes. And I mean, just what an amazing item. I love Duplicate of Binding. It's my favorite tank item in the game. I've said it a lot. You got 20% mitigations here. And I mean, you redirect it towards yourself, but you're tanky. You got the Shell of Rebuke. You've got the Stampede. You're able to do very much with that. A few technical difficulties here into the booth. We are experiencing some, but into this game, looking across the board, it is 23 minutes in, 61,000 gold to 52. That is a 9,000 gold lead for the Warriors of Albion. Baba's Kitchen able to maybe look for some sort of fight here. Briskberry Acorn hovered over. Thank you very much, Tess. The Ratatasker getting all 3 acorns, and we got the Phoenix Shield. We're going for maybe a Genji's, or maybe even a the dual percent item. I'm Freya's Tears. But I mean, all in all, it's just such a good game so far. Warriors of Albion able to do so much, and they're just, it's off of the back of this mid laner. Merlin putting in so much damage. The blink comes through, but Madam Hersha in some trouble here. Thanatos going into the air. Hovering Death is off the mark. Through this, we got the portal coming through, and we missed the one. We're into the portal. We're going back in. The unstable vortex is there, but Geb is rolling out and looking into some trouble. Hoagie into the sky, able to get away here, but Big O maybe being looked at here in some trouble. That is so much damage. The ultimate is there, but that is not going to save you. Bongwater doing an absolutely incredible job here. And I mean, I'm just astonished here. Through the skies is Orion Pax. We are landing onto the backline. The anti-heal option is there. We got the Geb shield, but that is not going to stop the anti-heal from Orion Pax. It doesn't matter. Orion has a million HP. He's going on to them, and he's just going to keep on going. I cannot believe it. Just absolutely insane amounts of damage. And we're able to pick up this Gold Fury. Ashworld Acorn just giving you so much sustainability, and you're 1v3ing. Look at that, 400 damage healing from one ability. That's insane. Orion Pax just zoning off 3 members of Baba's Kitchen. An exceptional job, but looking in the back line, we've got Papa Nike. Maybe he's got the Fear No Evil. We are jumping out. Thanatos landing on Mata Herta, able to get a CC, able to get the execute, and just keep on going. I mean, we're going to look at them. We're going to run the Lernian Bow is not going to be enough to save you, Ryan. I'm so sorry. Thanatos, can we get the reset? We do get a kill. We get the assist onto Pop and Nike, but Commanding Chunky able to get another kill on response. Merlin doing an absolutely insane amount of damage. That's another kill. That's divine for Merlin. Bongwater going absolutely nuclear. 10, 1, and 7. Where's Albion going to look at this Gold Fury? And it's still just me, but they're gonna pick up this Gold Fury. It's going down really quickly. Thick Meme's gonna have to drop it, but I mean, across the board here, Orion Pax, can we get some Golden Hand shown for me, pretty please? Golden Hand, 1600. That should be enough to finish off the Freya's Tears or the Genji's, whatever you're building. But I mean, just what an amazing game from all members of Warriors of Albion here. I am just absolutely befuddled by just how effective this this Ratatasker aspect full tank is. I mean, can I'm just absolutely I cannot believe it. We were able to go into the back line. We just zone off three people. We get ulted from the Odin. It doesn't matter. We have so much HP that that ultimate does not mean anything. And I mean, at the end of the day, when you have a million HP, when you have all of these items, especially with the Phoenix Shield, you are doing very, very well. Bluestone getting upgraded. We're opting to go for the upgrade, which makes sense. It does a lot of damage instead of grabbing the item, but I mean, it's just it's really good stuff, and we spot out Pop and Nike on the blue buff. The whole team is on the way. Pop and Nike in some trouble. Orion Pax getting there for the knockup. The beads is true. The overhand strike is there. Fear no evil maybe is going to be enough. No, On Her has something to say about that. Holding left click is On Her, and Ratatasker goes into the air and lands on Pop and Nike. That is a nice kill right there for you. Yes. Um, I mean, just absolutely amazing job here, and I'm just so excited to see how they're gonna play around this fire giant. They're looking to see just how they're gonna do it. Thanatos playing in the wings, Orion Pax doing what he does best, going for his zone, and they're pulling it. 12k, they're getting the stun out. Maybe stun's off the mark, and maybe being in some trouble is Thanatos ulting up into the air. Orion Pax is holding off the gates, literally playing like he does not care, and able to land. That is a good stun, and it's Fire Giants at 2k, it's at 1k. Who's gonna get it? It's going to be it's Thick Memes. Thick Memes secures the kill. It secures the Fire Giant. Absolutely insane, and we're going onto the back line.
Yeah, Thana trying to get away, but I mean these dual global ults between this Rat and Thanatos, you see, like you keep saying, just how much space they're creating. I mean, we just had a Geb secure fire because everyone else is just looking at the sky, and Chunky is still going down, but now we see the Thana getting ran down by Herta here, all the way down at their own red buff, and Herta is on the chase, but Chaos Kuzembo misses the silence and does fall down to the Giannis. But you see here, the rest of WOA is at the Phoenix line of this Baba's team. Fear no evil going to ring out, but unfortunately, like the majority of this game, not going to be able to do much as the Phoenix falls for WOA, and it doesn't look like they're stopping there. 3 heading mid, while Rat is past the already fallen Phoenix by himself. His team's not even turning around to help him as they take the tier 2. He's just going to laugh. He's going to stare back at Jokester and just kind of do Rat things. It's just unpunished this entire game. And now Humbot's coming up behind him, trying to force a one versus 2, but now a 1-for-1 again as Jokester Ryan just goes back to heal. Half the health bar gone. His team's doing pyro, but if you look at the builds, there's just no anti-heal here, right? We see how much Orion Pax, 34, 21, 10, that's every second. You're looking at 61 health or 65 health a second, and they're just not doing anything to counter it. So he's going to continue to abuse it.
Yeah, I mean, Orion Pax doing absolutely amazing job. How are you doing, Airborne? Thank you so much for coming in here in the technical difficulties. 30 minutes in, it is a very, very rough situation for Baba's Kitchen. Orion Pax just absolutely running through your entire team. Freya's Tears is bought. That means the full build is complete. Oof. A lot of damage from Mana Bertha. I mean, oh my goodness, the Rod of Tahuti doing absolutely insane amounts of damage here. I know you've probably had a chance to watch a little bit of this game, but how do you think Baba's Kitchen is supposed to come back from this?
I'll be honest, it kind of looks like it has to start and end with these builds, right? Like, we see the Giannis is doing damage. We've seen Jokester Ryan throw the kit, right? But it doesn't look like it's just, obviously it's not having the desired effect, right? But I don't know any other word to say it here. Now, this team is really good. We've seen them build the right ways and play the right picks and win the right games, right? They're in finals for a reason. They won game 1 for a reason, right? But for whatever reason here, maybe it's just not being calmed, but I mean, Orion Pax is pushing mid by himself and Giannis is portaling away. That's not normally an interaction that you have to see, especially with the mids being so strong. There's just nothing I mean, there's no Orion Pax counter on this team, right? Ho Yi's not gonna do it, even if he had the anti-heal, right? It's just he's not that god. So now we see Thana in the air, going to land on the Giannis. Giannis portaling through. Cages are down. Walls are down. Fear no evil. The sun, everything is falling, including Chaos Kuzembo, Herta as well. Now the fight continues. 2 more falling for this Baba Kitchen side as they're trying to force this fight, but it's no good. Woa with the deicide. 1 for 5 as they clean up this game 3 and march into the Titan room to send us to game 4.
They're going to go to this Titan room, and there is nobody on Baba's Kitchen to defend against this. 4 members with Fire Giant on the Titan. It is dead. That is a 2-1 lead for the Warriors of Albion. What an amazing way to end that game.
Yeah, I mean, right there at the end of the Titan being slain, you saw a 20K lead as that game ends. Obviously, you know, a little deicide to end things off of Phoenix Kill and the Titan add a little bit, inflate those stats, right? But prior to that fight, it's still around that 14, 15K mark, man. It's just when the divers can come at you from the sky, the land, the front, down, left, right, up, A, B, like it, there's no right way to look, but there's also no wrong way, right? That backline just harassed all game the moment they grouped. If you weren't looking at Rat in the sky for a dunk, you were looking at Thana. And if they weren't in the sky, they're probably blinking past you with a Thana silence and a scythe. Like it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And we talk about, like I said, this dual airborne personality, so to speak, right? But I mean, Chaos Kuzembo, a lot of game impact for 3, 5, and 14. Let's call it what it is. He had a really, really good game, even if the KD doesn't show it. But I mean, 8-0, 13, deathless. I don't know. That's a crazy game. I think a lot of it starts with the Odin building int. I've never been a big fan of it. I know a lot of people are, right? So take it with a grain of salt. But he's not contested in lane while Odin scales up, gets a couple early kills, starts that snowball, pivots out. Who's going to stop him? Yemo?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Who is going to stop Orion Pax? That is a question we will answer in our next game. Going to game number 4. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this short break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SAL Solar Finals. We've got the Warriors of Albion, we've got the Baba's Kitchen. I'm Rye. I'm joined here by Airborne. Up in the sky is Tez Die. How are you doing, Airborne?
Doing good. Was watching you guys on the second monitor. Saw Cinnilyn's power go poof, and someone's got to cast the finals. Someone's got to be here for the stream to run, so that way the boys can go in the chat and complain. But either way, two really, really good teams. Very different stories too, like we guys talked about before game one. I mean, Woa undefeated all the way here. Baba seen as an underdog, and I think every one of their playoff sets, but came out, started game one with a real quick punch to the face, and then now Woa won the last two. So we'll see if they can turn this back around here and maybe send us to a game 5.
Yeah, game 5 would be very, very interesting. We've got the same bands. We've got Aladdin, we've got Kali. But again, on that storyline, getting down, going up 1-0 and then getting sort of started on the reverse, you got to go into the mind of Baba's Kitchen. Are they going to do anything differently? What are they going to look for in this draft? Try and make an advantage here as Baron Samedi is getting banned away from the Baba's Kitchen side.
Yeah, Baron is a really, really fun pick right now, and usually a lot of people associate fun with fun, cool, big numbers, and that is generally the case depending on the build you go with him. Obviously, all mids and mages feel pretty decent right now, but Baron's a lot of fun. And usually when guys are having fun, they're playing better. So I don't hate the ban, especially this late. I mean, we're talking game 4 of a Fearless League, right? So this is realistically ban 31 through 36, not necessarily 1 through 6, as we get Disco picked up here with the first pick. But back to your question, I think Baba's just got to go back to the traditional tanks, and I think that this horse that is being hovered right here would be the perfect facilitator for what I have in mind. They want to play team fights so bad, and they look so good in them when they're not behind. And a Horus being able to just get everyone here and do whatever, right? You get 2 picks, Horus alt over to fire, right? It just opens so many different pathways for these guys to facilitate their style of play. And I really do think that it could be very, very good. And the Bacchus as well. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love.
A very good start. 2 very strong tanks. Amazing CC chains. You got the Horse stun and the Horse updraft. You got the Bacchus flop and the Bacchus burp. But on the other side, Discordia, a really safe mage, playing over these walls, using those strifes and the unruly magic. I mean, Discordia, we see why she's banned. She's usually getting banned away very frequently just because she is so safe and does so much damage. It's actually insane. And now that mages are even more meta than they used to be, I mean, just absolutely a must pick. If it gets let through the bans, it's a very good job. And Ganesha getting picked away as well. Rama into the ADC.
Yeah, speaking of safe mage, and then you hand them a Ganesha on top of that, right? Just quadrupling the safety of what this Discordia is going to be. And I talked a lot about the Orion Pax Chaos Kuzembo, but Bongwada also just had a really, really good game 3. So getting him on the Discordia, giving Ganesh over here to thick memes, I mean, it's setting up for another one, right? Like Disco, I was going to say, hey, you can leap away from one, but what can you do about the other 3 forms of CC with those tanks? Well, if Ganesha ohms, they don't even need to dodge one, so it doesn't matter anymore. Little curious to see exactly how this will go. I think if this Horus can get ahead, it could kind of, I don't want to say negate this Ganesha, right? But there's a lot of util in a Horus and just a lot of pressure that can be made, but there's a lot of picks while I'm talking. So X-Ball and Zeus going to Babas, and then an Amaterasu and Orion Pack staple going over here to Woe in this game 4.
Very, very amazing draft from Baba's Kitchen here. X-Ball Zeus. Zeus in this new patch, I've seen some chain lightnings hit between 2 people and hit for 3,000+ damage.
Yep.
And then you have the detonate charge. But another interesting pick is this Poseidon. Is that going to be Poseidon aspect into the solo lane or just Poseidon base solo lane?
I think that's Bungle.
What?
I think that's
Poseidon
Bungle.
Jungle? Oh my lord.
I think it's Bungle because normally I would say, hey, yeah, I've seen the Ama jungle before, but almost exclusively when the Ama gets locked in here and Orion Pax is on that side, it's going to Orion Pax. So in this case, especially with, like you said, these mages being all that much better after this patch, I don't know what a Whirlpool Kraken does to a Zeus at 35 minutes, but Chaos Kuzembo may show us, and I think it might be disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, disgusting indeed. This last pick being thought about for Baba's Kitchen. Who do you want to see in their jungle here? Who do you think that they're going to go against this comp for Warriors of Albion?
Unfortunately, I think this Poseidon was probably being debated, if not like talked about actively for this Baba's side, because it is one of Pop and Nike's picks here in the jungle. Not as common as his other ones, right? But we're game four of a fearless draft, right? Two junglers and even the rat going solo last lane. Those jungles getting a little slim pickings, and unfortunately, is going to put Poppin on the Nejah. Now, on this team, I don't hate it because you're just adding to what is already a super CC heavy team. But if you're looking for him to have the performances like he did in game one, all the damage, all the kills, that's just not what this god is going to do. So all the more pressure being dropped onto Madam Huerta and Jokester Ryan here to kind of pick up on the damage that he's just going to struggle to bring this game. But he is going to give them a sash, and that usually helps people do damage.
Yeah, very, very good CC chain from Baba's Kitchen. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you can go on. You have the X Ball for the burst down with the Zeus, and the X Ball with a very good team wide ultimate. Getting all of those people blinded
Yep.
and slowed. It's going to be so effective against a composition that doesn't really have that much slow immunity. Like you have dashes and stuff, but Poseidon going to be really well affected by this. So I'm excited to see how it works out. Bacchus, Horus, Zeus, Nejah. Which team, having all of these finished out, which team do you favor?
Honestly, up until the jungle picks, I loved Baba's front line so much to where I was really just going to let them get away with whatever they wanted and say I favored them, man. But I just I don't like Nejah jungles, and maybe it's a little bit of a bolder take, but I think like down here where we're at, right, we're sitting in the Cretes and the SALs and the stuff like that, right? Like we have a lot of fun playing the game. But as far as, hey, I'm going to sash, you need to perfectly time off of my alt, right? Like perfect picture perfect coordination and stuff like that. It's generally not that common down here. Now, Madam Huerta and Jokester Ryan are both top three minimum in the roles that they play in Solar. So if there's ever a backline to do it, it probably will be them. But I worry that if we get lost in a fight and Poppin goes to drop a combo onto this disco, he's just going to get blown up. So for that reason, think I'm going to lean Woa, but by no means is Baba's Kitchen out of it.
100%. Very, very good compositions on both sides here. But one more thing I'm going to add onto it, this Amaterasu, kind of hasn't seen very much play in recent times. What sort of stuff are we going to be expecting to see? What sort of build pattern are we going to see from this Amaterasu into this game?
So I've seen Orion Pax build it very, very different ways, and it usually depends on the stakes and stuff like that, right? I've seen him go into scouts and build, Sunbeam. I've seen him go crit. I've seen a whole bunch of different stuff, but he just had an insane game off of healing and sustain. Ama doesn't have much, but they do have a little bit, right? And he just watched the entire Baba's Kitchen team not build any anti-heal. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he starts working in, a little bit of lifesteal, maybe a little bit more damage-oriented build here on Ama, since they can just auto people down, particularly if he can dodge a Horus root in updraft. I mean, there's not a whole lot that Horus can do besides 3 away. So could definitely see him leaning that. And with Nejah being the biggest threat, the CC immunity in the Ama ult gets him away from a lot of it. So I'd say an aggressive build. I expect a damage item or two, a little bit of sustain. But it just, with that being said, it also kind of makes it a little bit easier for Jokester Ryan on this X ball to do some damage to him late. So really could go either way. I think it has to be a little damage oriented though.
Yeah, exactly. You touched on it, but Horus and Bacchus, do you think that it is you? I mean, I know you said that it's going to be Horus into the solo lane, but what sort of advantages would you prefer? Like, which one would you rather? Would you rather the Bacchus go the aspect solo lane and Horus support, or the other way around?
Oh, geez. That's the problem is I don't like any of them into Ama, right? But if I had to pick, it'd probably be Horus. If I'm playing Bacchus, I don't want my burp canceled on cooldown off of Ama Dash, and Orion Pax is pretty good about hitting those Ama Dashes. Um, it's just I don't like either of them if I'm being as honest as possible, but both of them can kind of do their own thing. I think Horus is probably a little safer, so I'd prefer him over there. Just get some farm up and then kind of segue into that mid rotation, maybe like a second Goal Fury pull and look to use those levels off that burst damage. But I don't know. The two silences on these tanks for Woa it doesn't make it fun to play Bacchus in either lane. But generally speaking, if I had to put a pin on it, I'd say Bacchus just go support because if nothing else, he's Bacchus, whether he's level 12 or level 20. You know what I mean? He drinks wine and he burps. That's what he does. But a horse from behind feels terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying there. Ganesha into the Bacchus. You got the Ohm, you've got the silence, and most of all, I believe your displacement immune while you're in your remove obstacles dash. So, I mean, just such a good matchup. Getting that Bacchus first pick was really strong. Like you got the two tanks, you've got, a good CC combo, but then Warriors of Albion, very nice pickup here. Ganesha. And then Rama as well with the cripples. You have the Ohm, you have the cripples, you have the Dharmic pillars. Just such a good dual lane. And I haven't seen this matchup in quite a while. Ever since X-Ball and Rama have been released, they haven't been the most meta gods of all time. But um, what do you make of that? What kind of matchup are you looking for?
Uh, I mean, honestly, both these ADCs are pretty good, right? Like going into Solar Draft, I'm going to say everyone in Solar and Lunar both knew that Jokester Ryan and Sir Axelot were going to be up there, right? Maybe you don't want to put them one, maybe you don't want to put them two, whatever. I don't care your order. You knew they were going to be above average, and you knew that they were going to be on a winning team because that's just what these guys do, right? So seeing the matchup, Rama does have that cripple arrow. Definitely could try to get some counters if Rama can get ahead a level or two, some astral arrows, a cripple on the X Ball, and X Ball could just not be there anymore, right? But vice versa, X Ball has a lot of tick in that kit, man. And Jokester Ryan is all pro in hitting X Ball 2. And that maybe isn't saying much because it's X Ball 2. It's a pretty big cone, right? But when every single time you walk up to Lave, you bleed 150 damage and Bolas hits you for another 60. I mean, by the fourth wave, you're debating backing. You've only got 400 gold in your pocket. So I think if Sir Axe wants to get ahead in this lane, it kind of has to start before the supports rotate out. I need to see Ganesh hit a really good 3, get a knock up, some damage trading going Rama's way, try to steamroll that. But if it can be left in an even state, as long as Jokes or Ryan plays as safe as he knows he can, he's going to get poked down to the point of no return. And when X-Ball can click 4 and auto you from the gold camp all the way to your tier 1, there's really no safety there. But Test is letting us know that we are loading into game 1. So it looks like they will go that Bacchus aspect solo. You were correct.
Yeah, Bacchus aspect solo. You got the Horus non-aspect support, but we are in game number 4. I'm Rye. I'm joined here by Airborne, and up in the sky is Tez Dai, getting a nice little view of this solo lane. Orion Pax, Amaterasu, getting that tier 1 magical defense and the Death's Toll. Very good composition here, but looking across the board, do you see anything that stands out to you?
I think the biggest one for me, at least, is just some of the relic choices here, right? So Ganesh going shell, even though there's no walls, you can argue, right? I mean, it's a shell, right? You never feel too bad pulling shell and support, but for me, my biggest thing is popping Nike going Aegis. I really would have liked him to go Blink and try to get aggressive with what CC he has to try to negate that damage fall off that seems to happen to all the Nejaz. Decided to go a little bit safer and go with that Aegis. I mean, we'll see, right? If he went Blink and got first blooded, we'd be saying the polar opposite. So he's the one piloting it. Maybe he can make me a believer as Big O loses half their health bar on the first wave.
Yeah, very good pressure. The Ganesha Rama combo, very nice job of just owning the pressure. You hit level 2 first. You might look for some, aggression here, but they have to step up to the wave. It's unclear. Orion Pax also losing out on a little bit of pressure here, but look at this duo lane. So much damage. I mean, they are able to sit under their tower and heal, but a nice silence. Like you said, a good silence, able to interrupt that burp, and the knockup is there, but look at how much damage. We're holding left click, and Orion Pax is just sustaining through all of this. Very nice job.
Yeah, the problem with this matchup is, as good as Commander Chunky is, right? If your burp gets silenced every single time, you need your leet to do damage, but it's also his only escape. As we see, he pops the shell to save himself from that first blood there, that Sunder being popped by Ama. So relic for relic, but Bacchus is the one that has to return to base.
And Bacchus opting to go for this conduit gem into the Runeforced Hammer, and interesting positioning from Papa Nike sitting in that bush, but over in the duo lane, they are contesting over this gold pit. Just duo lane, all in all, like you said, very interesting matchup here. If you can get a good gank, maybe something's going to happen. A nice stun and a nice knockup. The beads is not there, but there's the pull, and look at that damage. Straxlot getting first blood onto Big O.
Yeah, I mean, they played their utility there perfect. The cripple after the Ganesh 3, ensuring that he can't just 3 away back to Jokes Orion, which was very clearly their plan. I mean, we talk about counter picking in drafts, and we always make it sound like only the 10th pick can be a counter pick. But the counter pick starts as early as pick 2, man. Right? And Warriors of Albion made a really, really good showing. The cripple fields, the silence on the dash from Orion Pax here, the ohm from Ganesh, the cripple on Syrax's arrow, right? They built to counter this Baba's team at almost every single turn but Discordia. So the biggest question is Discordia just that good? As we see Orion Pax here going to miss the dash, but it doesn't matter. Burt gets canceled regardless. But 3 people here as Orion Pax ends up falling. Second kill going to Madame Herta, who rotated all the way over from mid as the other 2 grab rocks. So rocks for the solo laner.
Very good gank here, and Chaos Kuzumbo positioning really aggressively, but Papa Nike and Commander Chunky going for this blue invade instead. Maybe mid laner looking for a gank, but Amaterasu is unable to get that blue buff, and now maybe in some trouble holding down the left click button. But Bongwada able to get a nice little kill in mid lane off of the back of that Chaos Kuzumbo gank. Orion Pax playing super aggressively, just knowing that Papa Nike isn't going to be able to stay much longer. The dash is canceling out that burp, and the Sunder is very good, and we get the shell and trade in response. So another relic trade in the solo lane.
Yeah, second time that shell has saved his life from that Sunder is what that trade means. But Chaos Kuzembo, I mean, like you said, positions super aggressively, but puts himself in a position where he can do no wrong, right? He ganks mid. Who's there? Oh, the immobile Zeus, who's halfway up the lane and doesn't know him there. If he had waited and looped back around them on the blue, he may have even gotten a double kill there, right? That kill in mid ticked him over to 5, so all he would have had to do is get a cripple onto Neja, get that first blood, and then drop a Kraken on the wine drinker. But unfortunately, well, I guess not unfortunately, if you still get a kill, he does go mid and picks up the Zeus. I guess unfortunately for Babas.
Yep, Syraxlot opting to back. They're canceling it. A nice little stun is coming through, but the Ohm is better. We get the knockup, but there is no cripple field here today. Getting the dash out means that this fight is over.
That's an awesome play from Thick Memes, man. I mean, the only thing that you could even nitpick on is that he's a quarter of a second too slow, so the knockup still stuns. You know what I mean? Or the dash still stuns. But it's so perfect as we see Orion Pax chasing down the Bacchus, no shell, so he will fall this time. Could have been the third, but this time just the first, as Poseidon is over here ganking this Woa duo lane. No mana, though, as Papa Nike is here for the re-engage.
Papa Nike is there, and we're going on to the backline. Chaos Kuzumbo in some trouble. Thick Meme's going to look for looking for some peel, and the ult is there. Through the fire and wheels is true. The X-Ball ult is also there, so we have some good slows. Are we able to get out? Big O dashing in, but no stun is going to land. Syraxlot able to peel away for Thick Memes, and that engagement leads to no kills.
Yeah, you can have all the CC in the world, man. If you don't time it well enough, you know that person is just spamming their dash. Thick Memes able to survive there. just because that one dash from Big O, just the tiniest bit too late.
Yeah, Straxalot getting some good wave pressure here. Maybe going to look for an engage. We're looking across the board here. It's 6 minutes in. We got a 3-1 kill advantage and a 1,400 gold lead for the side of Warriors of Albion. What are we doing? What is Baba's Kitchen going to be looking to do into this mid game? Maybe mitigate this lead a little bit and look for some sort of play.
Well, right now, unfortunately, the only play that's really available is probably this Poseidon, right? He's the only one that doesn't have a huge dash that can really only be chased by the Najah Sash here. I mean, we see Orion Pax is already proxying waves in solo. Bob is not even rotating over there. They just know they won't get the kill. Unfortunately, we're seeing the tale of the two types of junglers, right? You've got your setup with Papa Nike, who needs help to get those kills, and so far Bob just hasn't been able to do that, and vice versa. Poseidon can do just about everything himself, but he is getting the help. 2 assists, 0 kills, but an early gold going to Woa. Baba is going to counter gank here, but there's the Ama ult for the CC immunity, and now they are on the run, going through a tower, and I think executed. No, Papa Nike going to get his first.
Papa Nike getting that first kill under the tower here, and Thick Memes peeling away the purple buff with that one. Amazing job here. Looking across these builds, we got the Spear of Desolations on both the jungler and mids, or rather, the jungler on the Woa side and the mid laners, both of them. What sort of benefits does that item bring you? Like, what sort of things are you going to be able to get from it?
Yeah, once the junglers start building the item, you can tell that it's pretty good in mid, right? Deso going to give you the power, going to give you a little bit of cooldown, going to give you a little bit of flat pen, and you see a little bit of that damage as Bongwada just blew up Nike with a little bit of help from the gang and continues on the chase. That one hitting for 230 already as we are 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, a lot of damage here. The Golden Apple of Discord, and there is a trade in the dual lane. I imagine that's coming out from Toaster Right and getting that tick damage onto Straxalot. But like I was saying, these mid laner items are extremely, extremely good. You get that flat pen, you get that cooldown reduction, and if you're able to build it in the jungle, like you said, it is really a good item. But another good item, that Jotun's Revenge, getting a little bit of a, kind of a bonus here, getting that 5 flat pen. What sort of stuff is there any other character aside from, Thanatos that this item is really good on?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, right? There is very, very few physical jungles that don't enjoy cooldown. I'm talking maybe Merc, maybe the Kali, depending on your build. As we see Orion Pax that's just getting hit over the top of the head with that club, eventually going to dash away to safety. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different assassins right now that are so cooldown oriented, right? Like, and we've seen quite a few of them played already today. Rat, Tsukiyomi, now the Najah, even Thanatos, like you said, feels really, really good with a little bit of extra cooldown. Unfortunately, though, as much as, like you said, Jotun's is being built and it did get that little bit of a buff, Deso it's just better, and that's putting it lightly, right? It's more damage, it's more pen. You could say Jotun's has a little bit more cooldown. I get it, but this early into the game, man, when my ult hits for 250 and yours doesn't, in the case of Bongwada hitting this apple, it's not a very fair contest.
Yeah, the Dharmic Pillar's coming through, but Big O and Madam able to get out of here. A nice strife and a good combination. Chaos Kuzenbo just getting so much damage out there. A nice combo from the remove obstacle strife, and Poppin just got absolutely just melted in that engagement.
Yeah, I mentioned it when we were talking about that Najah pick, right? Like, if he sashes and there's no one around, what happens? And we've seen it now back to back. There's nothing he can do. As some of that chain lightning that you were referencing earlier, Jesus, that's a lot of damage for a level 11, 10 minutes in. But yeah, it's just, the god isn't made to win a fight by itself, right? Like, you can do it early if you build a very specific way and you get the perfect target, and you know what I mean? Any god can. But as far as, hey, can this Najah fight or do any type of damage better than any other option. It's just not there, right? It's a set up pick. So if you're not setting up for anyone, you're setting up for the enemy team. And unfortunately, Papa Nike has found that out the last 2 lives here.
Yeah, just another reason why I think Warriors of Albion, like you said, just have a slight edge on this composition. You know, you have that dagger, or rather, you have that you have the ultimate advantage with the Kraken and the Golden Apple, but Warriors of Albion picking up this goal here. It's going down pretty quickly here. Maybe Papa Nike looking for a play. Kraken is there. Kraken is able to get the Gold Fury, and Chaos Kuzenbo and the rest of the squad are just going to go ahead and back off.
Yep. Even then, once again, even if Papa Nike is that guy, he is the dude. He is the Gold Fury stealer. Najah's not that god, right? Like all of these things where, like he's in a good position to try to steal something. It's not the pick, right? When you get something like a Najah, you need aggressive lanes that can get ahead. How did this game start? Commander Chunky almost died. He almost died again, and then he did die. And then the gank didn't get a kill, right? It's not good. The only lane that seems to be performing well right now is Jokester Ryan. Is Madame Huerta, as you can see, is just being abused by this Ganesha, this Discordia CC, and every time Poseidon has come in, it's been for the benefit of Woa. So right now, Papa needs his lanes to help him through so he can help them later, and Woa is just not allowing that to happen, to put that as simply as possible.
Yeah, Papa Nike doing as much as he can for the squad, and Jokester Ryan using
Good
that ultimate
shots.
for the extended range and
Good shots.
good shots in general, 100%. I mean, this X-Ball pickup, you go the Learning Bow, you grab the Oboe item 2. Very nice pickup in my opinion. How do you think that he's going to use this ultimate in the team fights, and what do you think is going to be the reason why?
Well, right now, the biggest thing that Babas has going for them is their ability to spread damage through their backline, right? We've got the Chain Lightning from the Zeus, we've got the massive AoE ult from the Zeus, and Jokester Ryan is leaning into it as Orion Pax is finally starting to lose this 1v1, but there's the ult for the CC immunity and the Kraken to clean it up. Commander Chunky finally had a fight going his way, and Chaos is just there to just dash all of his hopes and dreams. But Jokester Ryan is leaning into this ability to branch damage, right? We already have the branching bolas. You've got the Lernians. You've got the Odysseus bow, right? His autos hit the enemies beside his target almost as much as his actual autos hit the target at this point, right? Like, they're trying to spread as much damage as possible, and if he can continue to win the 1v1 in dual lane on this build, it's going to feel so good for Baba's late, but he has to be able to survive it, because if Chunky is already 0-2, already down these 2 levels, how long until Chaos Kuzenbo just starts ganking duo every minute?
Yeah, ganking duo might be the play that Warriors of Albion are looking for, but Orion Pax playing on this Amaterasu, not really getting the early game pressure pickup. You have the brawl of potential, right? You have this Golden Dagger and Golden Blade, and we are just holding down left click, but some more engagements happening in mid lane. Bongwater putting down Madame Huerta into half HP territory, but Orion Pax just able to just hold down this left click. You get some tankiness with the Prophetic Cloak. You got the Shoguns for the dampening and the auto attack speed and magical prots, but Golden Blade, like you said, gonna grab 1 or 2 offensive items, the attack items, and I think Golden Blade is such a good item on Amaterasu.
No, I agree with you. It makes his lane clear all the better, and it allows him to save those abilities to purely target this Bacchus, no longer having to lean on that 2 in order to clear wave, which, to be frank, he probably hasn't had to do too much because this lane has predominantly gone in his favor, but you get the point, right? Spread that damage a little bit like we talked about with this Baba's backline, but also it feels nice, man. Like, damage numbers always feel good as a 3-man Kraken. Oh no, the fight continues. The Aegis too late on Papa Nike, but now Windfire Wheel is going to take Chaos into the sky, and the team is waiting on it, but not able to finish it quite yet. The burp going to go through, and Huerta, a 5-man rotation for the Poseidon as Chaos Kuzenbo picks up his first death.
Yeah, 3-man Kraken, and Horus
Uh-oh.
is just going in. A nice apple of discord, though.
Oh,
Trading out for so much damage. Dharmic Pillars doing a million damage in their own right. Zeusol getting onto nobody, but we're in the backline.
Snipes?
Amaterasu is holding
three
down
missed.
this ultimate, going in, and we get it turned on. Look at how much damage is
Look
going
how
to
tanky.
Orion Pax. Actually, so tanky,
There's
and Orion
blood.
Pax going to turn around and maybe hold left click onto this
He's
Zeus.
running.
Zeus is at 1 HP. Zeus, can you get out of there? You got some peel. Oh my goodness, 240 damage is not going to be enough, but here comes Horus. Horus is in the air, potentially just going to be looking for a safety
Needs to go
play.
back to his fountain.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
what, an
good
amazing,
call.
what an amazing job here by the Warriors of Albion, able to somewhat mitigate the loss of their Chaos Kuzumbo, and now they're going to go ahead and pick up this Gold Fury.
Yeah, very unusual where the team that loses 2 ends up pulling the Gold Fury over the team that lost none, but their return damage was just really good. Jokester Ryan is in a pretty decent spot to steal it here, but unfortunately the Kraken is going to be good enough. Never mind, Sir Axelot actually going to get it. Commander Chunky falling as Windfire Wheels connect on a Chaos Kuzembo, but Poppin, keep bringing it up. You can't set up for yourself on this pick, man. It's just, it keeps leading to that gray screen. His team is just getting it, at least in that instance, they're so far pushed back immediately by this WOA team that it's just, he can't do anything besides, I think, maybe counter engage at this point. We're going late into a crit item. I don't think it ever gets any better is the problem, right? He needs his team to get online so he can get online. And right now, Jokester Ryan and a little bit of Madame Huerta here, right, gets their second kill on that Zeus gank, right? But it's just right now the only lane that's shown any kind of poise has been this ADC role, and we see Jokester Ryan unfortunately does know that Poseidon's there. He was on the ward, but
Big
when you can
Kraken
do
doing
that
a
much
million
damage,
Kuzumbo getting another kill, but here comes the squad. Horus is on the back side of them, but they are able to run away. Orion Pax opting to go back in, though, in no trouble whatsoever. Is not worried even a little bit. But here comes the rest of the squad. We've got the dampening onto your teammate. You got the 20% mitigated on Bongwater with that doublet of binding. I love this item. I mentioned it last game, but Orion Pax positioning himself very aggressively, and looks like Ganesh might just come around here. A nice dash from Sir Axelot, able to get him out of there, but Orion Pax taking a significant amount of damage from the Zeus. Zeus online pretty much already, but uh-oh, here comes the Poseidon. Poseidon, no ultimate, but we do have the cripple field, and we're gonna go in. Rama is in the air. Can we get to the ults? Can we reach 221? Not quite there. And now we're going to look to turn onto this Bacchus. Bacchus able to get out of that cripple field and get out of there. Can we run away? Are we fast enough? Bongwater just looking for a strife, and the unruly magic is true. Just so much damage. Able to chase down Commander Chunky, getting a nice kill in solo.
yeah, unfortunately, right, when you've got those pushing minions that you get from that mid ritual, we see them all the way over at this tier 2 tower now, just able to teleport right on top of them as they're looking for this pick on Syrax. Unfortunately, though, even with that massive rotation by WOA into that solo side, which Babas is still not honoring, so they're going to lose their Phoenix at 19.5 minutes.
Get the Phoenix, and Zeusol is there, but
What?
the Kraken is better. Chaos Kuzumbo doing an absolutely amazing job of just clicking one button and saying, yeah, bye-bye, buddy.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I thought we were gonna back and we were gonna do whatever. They started kind of poking in mid, kind of poking in duo. I guess they just weren't expecting them to push. Maybe Chunky not iterating enough. Hey, there's 4 people at the tier 2 tower line. Like, this is going to continue. So WOA just able to get the Phoenix, and then just how far ahead this Poseidon is and all the right items. Just, it doesn't give Zeus a chance. Able to throw the ult, and that's it. And we see the ADC damage onto Orion Pax here. And just even now, that's the ADC. That's supposed to be what kills him. And he still can't win that 1v1 right now. That's just what this Ama build is. And level 18 to level 16.
Yeah, Amaterasu playing maybe aggressively. Can we get the silence off? If we get the silence, can we get the ultimate? Oh my goodness, no, we are just going to go ahead and die to that tower. Unfortunately, the Zeus was there on the backdrop, but 3 members in the left lane. That means that the Warriors of Albion are going for this Fire Giant. They are in such a good position here. It is 20 minutes in, 13-7. There is a 10 or 11,000 gold lead, and Chaos Kuzenbo using the Kraken, getting that Fire Giant, putting us up to a 12,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. What are the Baba's Kitchen supposed to do to turn this around?
Yeah, right now, I mean, we talked about all the CC they had, the way that they could engage. So far, we have not seen a 5-man grouping from Baba's besides the single pick onto Chaos Kuzembo here. Like, we haven't seen it yet. So it's hard to say, oh, they're out, their 5v5 is worse, when we just simply haven't, like, it hasn't taken place on this map, right? Like, in reality, what Baba's needs is a really, really big Zeus ult and all the right CC. And they have the characters for it, right? A root, a knockup, a sash, right? You're buying 3 or 4 seconds inside of this Zeus's ult, who is not that far behind, actually a level ahead of this Discordia, though behind in items, right? Like, you have the ability, right? But the further you get behind, the smaller your room for error is. And right now, Baba's is borderline as small as it gets. But you can't say they're out of it, right? Just there's too much CC, too much damage as we watch Orion Pax heal.
Yeah, big Kraken coming out, a lot of damage. Horus able to dash away. There is a beads on the Horus to get out of there, but I mean, just so much damage and so much healing from Orion Pax, using that Death's Toll very, very effectively. But Warriors of Albion gonna grab this tower. They have Fire Giant on 4. Orion Pax, unfortunately, not able to secure that Fire Giant buff for himself. They're looking for maybe another tower in mid lane. Orion Pax still just boxing out Commander Chunky as much as he pleases. And we get the cripple field, and the healing is not going to be enough. Big O, you are not going to be able to save him, and Orion Pax taking a little bit more damage here. Chaos Kuzenbo with him alongside to get that zone job done, and that is going to be another Gold Fury under the side of Warriors of Albion. Looks like Baba's Kitchen doing a pretty good job, though. They are splitting the map here as the dagger is used from the support.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get this tier 1 over here for Nezha, and it'll give the team a little bit of extra gold, able to trade out the Gold Fury with what they can, right? Better than absolutely nothing, but still not a trade that you like to make too often, especially if this WOA team is going to pull Pyromancer on top of it. That feels pretty rough, but I mean, at the end of the day, at some point you have to ask, what else can you do, right? Commander Chunky, for the most part, we need to stop boxing the Ama. It has gone well one time in 24 minutes, and it's gone horribly bad the other times. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't look for Orion Pax and try to punish him, but it can't just be Bacchus. It can't just be Papa Nike, right? Make it a combination of 3 or 4 players, like we've seen them do to Orion Pax to give him these 3 deaths that he has, right? But right now they keep running one at a time, and if it doesn't work from an even state, it's not going to work from behind. He's hitting all the abilities. At this point, though, the gold and level lead is just too big, right? Throw a Zeus in there with you and, see what happens, right? Like, there's no downside at this point.
Yeah, 100%. No downside indeed. We're going to the mid lane, though. We got all 5 members of the Warriors of Albion up. All 5 of Baba's Kitchen of nice Dharmic Pillars, and the Aegis is not going to be enough to save you, buddy. Shell of Rebuke might just be, though. We got the ultimate, and it is not going to be enough. Orion Pax finishing off Madame Hersha into the mid lane. Now they're just running it down. We have 2 in the right lane, 3 in the mid. We're going to be splitting this up. Kraken onto the back line. Not going to be enough to finish it, but Chaos Kuzenbo getting that Phoenix. And we're getting one more tower. We got 1 down for Baba's Kitchen, and we are looking for this Phoenix.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zeus probably the most, hey, we can't lose this god before our defense god that there is for Baba's Kitchen. And it looks like it's going to continue a Discordia combo, hitting Jokester for about 6 million as he dashes away to safety and lives. So Woa going to backpedal. Probably would have been the go button if they gotten that pick.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play the safe play. They're going to go for this safe pick here. They're not worried. It's only 25 minutes in. They don't care about getting like some sort of record. They're looking to win. And what that means is taking this 15k gold lead, just taking it and saying, "Yep, we're going to take our time. We're going to play it safe. We're going to go back. We're going to reset, get all of our items finished up. We have literally 2 full items on each individual person. That is across 5 members. That's 3,000 gold per person if you're averaging it out. So, you know, a full item on top of you onto the enemy team, and they're just going to go ahead and back up and say, yep, we're just going to scale harder, and then we're going to take this next fight and go for the win. But what is Baba's Kitchen going to do on this defense? How are they going to change it up, and how are they going to try and turn this around?
Fortunately, I think just because of the amount of burst damage that WoA has and their ability to just kind of, I guess, click 4 with that comp, right? Between the Poseidon, the Dharmic Pillars, Amazalt, right? Like, you have to take this fight outside of your Titan room. I wouldn't let it be any further than my Phoenix, probably. But it can't happen in your Titan room. Babas is going to step up here and see if they can maybe try to steal a Fire Giant, which would be a nice turning point for them.
A huge Dharmic Pillars! The Golden Apple of Discord lands on 1. The Aegis is 4th, but we are dropping the Fire Giant. Chaos Kuzumbo getting a kill on the left side. Papa Nike gone. Sir Axelot gets another. Jokester Ryan is down for the count. The stun is there. Bongwater may be in some trouble, but Chaos Kuzumbo getting a double kill. Can we get the third? Are we going to be able to get it? The knockup is there. There is a cripple field in the way. Sir Axelot gets another double kill. That's 2 double kills for the Chaos Kuzumbo and for Sir Axelot. They're going to run it down here. They have 2 Phoenixes open. They're going to look for the end. It is just the Zeus. Can the Zeus do it? Is there a Chain Lightning? Is there a hope? Is there a dream? The Kraken is there. The Zeus ult is true, but it is not going to be enough. You are gone. That is a deicide for the Warriors of Albion, and they take game number 4.
Yeah, just a little too split there for Babas, right? The more you split up that 5, the more that gold lead becomes apparent. There was 2 in Pyro Pit, 2 above fire, and I don't really know what happened or what took place, I guess, in that Pyro Pit, but it was very obvious what happened at the top of that fire. They showed face, and every single person on WoA clicked 4, and this late into the game, that's just enough. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a final set. WoA do take this 3-1 victory, but shout out to Baba for being the underdog, according to so many different people, making it all the way here, pulling that first game, and, you know, making it competitive at the end of the day, right? Like, they got all the way here when the 6 other teams didn't, so they definitely deserve a pat on the back, even if those last 2 were a little bit, you know, brutal as far as that gold lead tends to say. But it was a really, really good season from them, and WoA remains undefeated as they take this championship.
Just an absolutely spectacular way to finish it off. Chaos Kuzumbo picking up this Poseidon at the beginning of the game, you know, getting those Krakens off early, very valuable. 9, 1, and 6, 30,000 damage. And I mean, what an exceptional performance. But again, another shout out. Orion Pax on that Ratataster game 2, or game 3. On that Chaos or onto the Amaterasu as well. Bongwater, Sir Axe, Thick Memes, just such an amazing team. Just they do so well, but no flames to the other side. Baba's Kitchen, such a good team, able to make it to the finals. Unfortunately, only taking the 1 game, but it was a good fight for both of them.
Yeah, it was a really good finals, right? When we've all seen it before, the guys who have been around here a long time, where the underdog wins and then they come to finals and get stomped in a 3-0, 40K gold lead type of set. But Baba's, whatever you want to say, right? They came out, they won game 1, they're competitive in the early mid, right? Even if they got a little way away from them in that late game, right? Like you said, 2nd place out of 8. That means that you're better than 6 other teams, bare minimum, bar none. And then on top of that, I think WoA might have lost 2 or 3 games. 0 sets, but maybe 2 or 3 games. So they become one of the 2 or 3 teams to do that as well. It's a really good showing for them. Unfortunately, the dice didn't go their way this time. Very easily could have gone the other way. But it is an undefeated and ring-winning season for WoA in this first season of Solar. But won't be any interviews tonight. So that will be all for us, with Rye holding it down in Chair 1 and Chair 2 this cast. Me only coming in for a little bit of the credit at the end, and then Tess in the sky the whole time, bringing you guys the finals.
Yeah, just an amazing finals. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to the teams, both of them playing very well. And say thanks to all of your production members. They do so much work for you. That's going to be all. I've been Rye. I've been here with Airborne and Tess up in the sky. Please have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you later.